Morning guys, my name is DeveloperPrince and I am a developer. I belong to a community in the tech village and I love working. I'm a full stack web developer. I'm also studying engineering and my passion is on technology. I love seeing a lot of changes in technology. So as a developer, I will share my history later on apart from this video, but the purpose of this video is to introduce you into Tamara Bot, a community project which is being coordinated by an in-house branch called Village Services / Village Work. So it's a community-based project where we're building a chatbot for the tech village, the co-working space itself, and it has spearheaded probably most of the development work in this whole project. So the reason I'm recording this video is to guide developers into starting out into becoming a developer, to be part of this community, to contribute towards this community, and just to do a basic work towards this community. So this is gonna be probably a long video, but it's essential because I want to go through every steps along the way. So already within our project, this is our project. I created a new branch. So the master branch and the development branch are essentially the same. This is the documentation. So if you read the documentation, you clone this project repository, and when you clone this repository, you do the steps to actually get started on sort of like doing the project, right? So let's get started. So I've already configured everything on my machine. This is my MongoDB server. I'll show you briefly where to download it and the best way to install it. I'll show you how to get started with GitHub. I'll also guide you on how to log into the server, although I'll log in without telling you what's happening in the background because this is gonna be me who's coordinating this, so that so this is mostly gonna be me, right? And yeah, I'll also show you how to start integrating new features and new tasks based on Trello, our Trello board here. So let's get back to our project. So as you can see, I'm using GitHub app to clone this application, and I can switch to branches. So right now I'm in development branch, which is where all developers should actually be developing from. So if you say GitHub clone and when you say open GitHub desktop, it will trigger this application and it will ask you where to locate your project. You just put your project path and then it clones it properly. Don't download zip, clone, so that whenever you make changes you can push them back up, okay, which I'll demonstrate in the course of this video, right? So yeah, we want to restore our database, so we want to go back to where our project is seated, and my project is seated in documents. No, I'm just missing my OneDrive documents, DeveloperPrince, then Tamara Bot. Then if I type cmd there on my, then I go Mongo restore, should work. So if I run Mongo restore, yes, there we go. So if I go to my database here, right, you see nothing happened, but if I refresh, see village content has been updated, right? So yeah, so these are the users which are already there, right? These are users which are already there, and there are a bunch of missing tables here. Yeah, so we want to create those tables as we go, right? So forgive me if I just lose an edge, but I haven't worked on this project in a while. So I want to open it in our Visual Studio Code editor. That's how I open it, and then close this. It's now opening on our code editor. There we go. So there's our entire project. It has been cloned. It's there, it's available. So if I use the internal command prompt, I then say okay, fine, in our internal command prompt dev, this is how you activate your virtual environment scripts / activate. There we go. Activate your virtual environment. So if I say python run.py, yeah, no, it's not run, it's python, then we run the code app. So it's gonna start up the bot. There we go, we started up the bot at that port. So if I go to my emulator, which I will show you how to download, I want to just do a quick demo. It will be local, it should be localhost, copy that link, the API / messages, like that, and then connect. We should see something popping up. So it's running there we go. My name is Tamara. Is this your first time chatting with me? Right, then probably you say yes. I forgot the commands, guys. So if you say yes, they need to ask you to do this, right? Which I will go through in detail later on, but probably I need to remember how to get to the menu. Maybe you say menu, there we go. Yeah, so if you say menu, it will say co-working packages and everything else like that. So yeah, this is basically the bot running on my local host. So I will deliberately minimize this and go straight into configuration, right? This is the demo already. Let's go straight to configuration. So after downloading the project, you put your virtual, you configure your virtual environment, you activate your virtual environment. This is how you activate it on Linux, and this is how you activate it on Windows. After that, you install your packages and you run the app, right? I didn't show you this too because I already did them before the video, but we ran the app straight away and it should essentially work. And then for migration of database, you just run mongo restore, right? And then for backing up, just run mongo dump, right? And then you back up. So mongo restore for migrating the database, and then mongo dump for backing up your database, right? And then all this only works if you have installed the following prerequisite applications or software. So these are the certain softwares you need. Firstly, you need to download VS Code. I advise you to use VS Code, right, which is this site. My internet is bad. Okay, download VS Code, and then you need to also download MongoDB. Yeah, MongoDB. And I probably advise you to download it in a certain way, which I prescribe. Okay, there we go. So MongoDB, right? And you also need Microsoft Port Framework. So I'm gonna go through this manually so that you don't get lost, right? Port emulator, there we go. You need a bit emulator, and then you also need a tunneling software for testing the staging environment while beyond this, right? This is ngrok. And then off my head, what else do you need? I'll show you as we go through. So when you go here, you download your code editor depending on which distribution. You go to MongoDB, you download your Mongo server. Make sure you download the MSI package. I prefer using this one because if you download the zip, it's a bit hard to configure this. If you do not know how to play around with a lot of things, just download the MSI. It's much easier and friendlier, and then you download that instantly. It sets up everything. It even installs Mongo Campus, right? Because I know with the zip, maybe it doesn't even come with Campus. You need to install Campus separately. Make sure you use this path. Don't go anywhere else. Go to the MongoDB site, download MongoDB server straight up there. It's for free on community edition. Don't do anything funny. And then go to your emulator, to this link. Probably I have shared it already. I shared it already on the test document for the test developers on installing the emulator on your machine. It should be bought emulator, then releases. There we go. Here and then you download the Windows version. Make sure it is the Windows version. So you go to this link. I've shared this link already on test docs. Don't find any other emulators. There's some older emulators. This is the current emulator. This was released probably 13 days ago. So just go here and just install this one straight up. I've updated my emulator. Normally the updates are just minor things. So just download this for Windows 86, and then you're done. And then finally install Italian software called ngrok and extract it on your local PC. And then I'll show you how to configure that within your emulator to tunnel to a global staging environment, right? So after all this is done, I think you'll be good to go. Finally, if you haven't installed Python, you also need to install Python. So it's Python 3.67. Let me say it's 3.7. And then if you go straight up there, it's so simple. Go to Python 3.7 and then go to at the bottom here and you download the MSI, the executable installer. For mine is 64 bits, so I download this, right? So it's that easy. And make sure when you're installing it, you select add environment path so that you use it globally on your machine. Just make sure that it's ticked on that checkbox during installation, and then you're well and good, right? So after all this stuff has been set up for you, it's been spun up, the final thing you need to do is to make sure that your MongoDB server has been added into your environment path so that you're able to run the scripts from command prompt like restore and everything else, because after installing it, it doesn't run out of the box. Let me just show you that quickly. So if you go to environment variables and you go there, you go to your paths here, you edit, you see that I had to add a new path and navigate to where my Mongo server is installed. So it's installed in program files, MongoDB server, then the version of the server, then bin, then enter. Okay, do the same on your system variables. Go to paths, it's the same thing, right? Then okay. So once this is done, if you do say apply, then it's fine. So I didn't edit anything, so it will be okay. So when you do that, you need to clone your repository, right? There are two ways of cloning, but I recommend this way, whereby you say open in desktop and then click that. But I won't do it again because I've already cloned it. So yeah, there we go. So it's already cloned it. But if it hasn't cloned it, it will ask you where to locate, and then you say okay, it does everything for you, and then it will show you this window. So you can see that there are 3 changes which happen, and these changes are due to the running background services on the application. So you can track the changes here, or you can see the changes here on your VS Code editor, which shows you that these are the files which have been changed. These files are catching files, so they're not really that essential. We ignore those, right? And yeah, that's okay. So basically that's it. Let's run through Trello now. For those who belong to the community, this is important. If you've been added to become a developer in the community, you need to have Trello configured on your, installed on your phone, on your laptop. I installed the desktop version, and I also have it on my phone. So whatever happens, I can tell you no one has been doing any activity here. Whatever activity happens here, I've set watch on some of the cards here. I instantly get reports. So work in progress, nothing is happening, right, as per yet, but you've got testers here. So let me quickly assign testers to say to actually assign them tasks. So I add members, and then I know Alistair is a tester, so let me look for Alistair. There we go. Thompson is a tester. There we go. And Ted is also a tester. There we go. So these guys are part of this card. So whatever happens, changes happens to these guys, changes will happen, and we'll get to know. And these guys will automatically have received some notifications in their accounts that they've been assigned something by someone, right? I can set a watch, right? But I won't go through that. That's more on the management side. I want to focus on the dev work. So already there are 2 things we need to achieve. The first task is, as a user, this is called a user story. So as a user, I want Tamara bot to notify me of current core village co-working membership packages, right? And then I've already have a task which I need to do, which is create a database schema of how packages will be written and retrieved from the database pertaining co-working packages, right? So I have to do that. And I had already written the code. It ran at some point, I deleted it or it crashed. I don't know what happened, but we can redo it. It's fine. So this is the current task, which is there, and the people who are supposed to be doing this with me as well is Bongani, Crescentia, Robert, and there's one other member I need to add there, which is Charmaine. There we go. These are the developers which are available. And then yeah, those are developers which are there, and I think well and good. Kevin as well should be part of this board. So yeah, those are the people to be doing the dev work. I'll add all these members all the time so that they help each other, but in the long run, as they become more experienced, I'll be now assigning people one person per user story, and we'll allow them to work through that user story. It's okay. So I can also add myself there, part of that board. There we go. So this is our current task, and we need to achieve this task. So I think there are many things which I didn't which I will never show you deliberately in this video, because there's a lot of things happening in the background. The schema on how the messages should look like, and basically a number of other aspects. So let's go back to the project immediately. So if you go back to your emulator there, if you go back to your emulator, if you say tell me, I think it's tell me about packages. No, I say tell me packages. Okay. It didn't return anything. It was supposed to return a schema of all the packages available. So we are going to start building that feature together through this video. I hope after this video people will be able to do this alone. So please, I'll slow down. I want you to go through it slowly later on, and yeah, basically enjoy and have a blast. So there'll be many mistakes I'll do, but it's okay. That's how you learn as a developer. So let's get started. So we're doing this first task, which I should finish probably by the end of this video. So let's go back to our project. So yeah, so this is our project structure. I will not go into detail architecture process of the architecture of this project, but I want you to contact me directly, then you go through the architecture if you don't understand anything. But essentially there are tests integrated already here, right? And there's the library, right, already integrated here. This is a helper library. So for space, if you go in here, and then there we go, you look for the Mongo URI environment file, right? And it will ask for the URI for that. So we need to create that in our project, I think. So it's dot environment, yeah, there we go, and then it's created that. So we need to put our Mongo URI here, and then it's equals to, so our database is located on localhost, there we go, localhost 2701. So it should be localhost, our port is 2701 017, right? And then save. And after that is done, yeah, that's the most important aspect. Yeah, it needs to create a collection code space. So we need to create a collection code space in here. and then we'll create the collection. So we'll call this space, create the collection. There we go. It's got nothing for now, but we will integrate more things. So we'll go back to our project. So in this project, it will read this .environment file, and then after it does that, it will then probably try to it will read this environment file, read MongoDB, URI, and then the connection string for that. And after that is done, it will then look for village content, the database, then the collection, which is the table. So in MongoDB, it's a document-based database. It's different from the common query-based databases. I'll just go quickly into the history of how it works. So databases are still databases in MongoDB, but they're called collections, right? So a collection is a database, right? A collection is a table, then databases are just databases, and then records from the standard query databases, SQL databases or query-based databases. Your records in MongoDB are actually called documents. So a document is equals to a record, a collection is equals to a table, and database is a database, essentially. So if you say space collection, DB is the database, then collection is the name of the table. So that's why within MongoDB you have to go into the database, right? And then these are the tables, right? And if you go to users already, these are the particular records, and these are actually called documents, you see. So it's a bit of confusing, but you will get used to this, right? And I love using this because I avoid a lot of processes of serialization and all yada yada yada, which is a bit technical, which we discuss off this video, right? So therefore we have created our space data collection, right? And then there's a function which is the co-working, right? So co-working finds everything, and after it finds everything, it returns the results, which will be a JSON object in this instance, right? And then if you go into the app itself, the app itself under bot, actually it's a bot. There we go. This is where you do most of the editing here, right? So if the message is help or inquire or menu or options, it should return this, right? And then if it's no, it will say I don't know you, it will await the next thing, and so forth and so forth. But if you then say menu, where's the command for menu? I'm getting a bit confused. Username, register, co-working. So if it's co-working or space or packages, it would be, if you have imported your library space function here, there. So that object, it's actually not even an object, because if you go back to library here and spaces, it's actually a function. So it's not even written in a class. So what happens is, if you go back, it's not even, it's just a class, co-working. So if you go back to bot and they're going to go to co-working, if you say, if your message has got co-working space or packages, no matter how it's typed, it will assume that you're asking for packages, and then it will hit, you would then have to call your results from packages, which will be a JSON object, and then reply whatever it's gonna be returned here in this format, right? And then this is how it's gonna be replied. So for packages, for package in packages, this is a for loop, or you write a for loop. So for each and every individual package within packages, it will look for package, the cost, and the benefits, right? I'll show you how to to populate your database to have those stuff. And then else if register information, whatever. So this is why it's not sending anything. It's because it's replying, it's returning something which is empty. So when something is empty, it's just writing, it's not returning anything because it's empty, right? Yeah, so essentially that's how it works. So let's go into Trello. It should guide us. Yeah, so in Trello, the most important aspect is we need to be able to know some certain stuff. So this data collection, someone's calling me from work. So essentially, because of that, we need to ensure that everything is running smoothly, right? So yeah, so we open Tamara bot. Sorry, my concentration was thrown off. So if you go to our Trello board under done, if you go to data collection, there's some essential information which is important, like Tamara content information. That I think is Tamara content. So if you open that straight up, it'll open a Google Docs on certain pieces of information you need. Yeah, so these are the co-working packages, right? Great. So the co-working packages are here, right? So I will show you briefly on how to add that stuff here. So we want to add data. So we want to insert a document, right? So we are going to use this format. So the first item here is package, right? And then the name of the package is this one, right? I'll remove the cost here. So virtual office, I'll just put virtual office like this, and then after that I'll add another, which is cost, right? This instance cost is this one, and then you paste it there. Then you add another field, if I remember, it's cost benefits, right? Benefit, and then benefits, right? Is it benefit, and then we are gonna put the benefits which are here, which are these ones. These are I call benefits. So if I paste them there, then paste them there, then insert, and then refresh. There we go, it has added those. So if you go back to our board, it should pick up some of our changes. So if I say, tell me, let me just say packages because it's using keywords. Packages, right? There we go. It's already picked it up. So virtual space, which costs that, benefits as follows, that. So this actually keep on adding a number of them. Like I said, I already did in the code, so I want to add all these packages within the process of this video, and you know that you are already done. So let's add more documents. So add document, we'll do the same thing here. It's package, and then select the package name, which is basic membership. Yeah, and these things are subject to change. Yeah? That's why we add them in the database. I didn't statically put them because we're going to build a dashboard which we edit this information. So cost, and then we add this cost here, and then finally benefit, yeah, benefit, which is this one. Copy the benefits here, benefits, and then insert, add. This is how it looks like in tabular, and this is how it looks like in this format. We'll insert another document this time around. Let's get daily membership pass. Another package that's supposed to be 6, so I need to make sure I realize that I forgot this one. So let's add that. We edit the membership, then cost, there we go, and then benefits. Which are the benefits? Right, and insert. Let's get the fourth one. I think you're not getting the gist of things, right? So the fourth one is freedom membership, right? Yeah, package actually, because it's a particular document. So the package name, the cost of that package, and finally the benefits thereof. What we finish, guys, just 2 more. Insert, and then that's 4. Number 5, freedom membership. This is the second tier. I think we need to differentiate this, right? Freedom membership in the future to say, I think that's something the team will consider, the products team, which is mostly comprised of Natalie, Do, and the other guys on techies. That's the products team. They need to discuss about that, but I think that's a problem in the future. But anyway, it's not really an issue. Benefit, and the benefit is there, and then we insert. Then finally we add the last document. The last document is there we go, startup membership, right? And then startup membership package, I won't go into detail on that in package, but just visit Tech Village or contact any of our Tech Village guys, and they'll be able to assist you. And then the cost, month, right? And then benefit, we are going to take the last benefit and then insert, right? Yeah, basic guide. And these are some of the questions about finding everything else. Now how to integrate that. This is very easy, guys. The code is probably written in the libraries, so warnings, whatever you feel like needs to be integrated here, please contact me directly. Then we write a library for that, right, together. And then after that, you then edit this code all you want, all you like. This is where you can play around, because whatever you break here, I will try to fix it. But anything from the libraries, I may not know what you did, or even if you touch anything, it's very hard to debug. But it's not really hard, but I'm the one who wrote the library. So whatever you need to feel like you need to integrate as a library, please contact me directly, right? And then we have a discussion on that. don't use the WhatsApp platform, just contact me straight, inbox me straight up, right? I'm a very busy guy. As you can see, I missed a call, right? I had to drop a call from a colleague because we wake up very early and we sleep very late. So anyway, this is basically it. So if I refresh my database is already refreshed, but if I go to my bot emulator, right, and then if I say packages or space like that or whatever, there we go, it's got all the stuff which it returns. Maybe the formatting, we need to improve on the formatting, I think so guys, but basically this is it. I love the response here thereof, but my end clock is not working properly, but yeah, anyway, I love the response time thereof. So I can actually write a comment and say on Trello, now I'm reporting now. So I go back to Trello and then I just want to write a quick report on packages, and then I'll be like, okay, write another comment. I have created a data schema and will push database backup on GitHub, right? And then if I go back here, I go and open my terminal, I add another window, I do the most important thing, which is Mongo. I need to run Mongo. If I run Mongo dump, okay, so yeah, Mongo dump has written, yeah, it has backed up a new backup here. So it's got now it's got village content, and it now has the stuff right under village content, and that's for users, and that's for users, and then space, yeah, it should have written spaces information. There we go, spaces information, space metadata, right? So the JSON file is that one, and it will just read this. So when you run, I'm about to push this, right? So I've done my changes, I've done whatever I need to change. So if I go to my git ignore file, there's something peculiar about git ignore. Yeah, git ignore ignores environment file. So when you pull the project, create this file, go through that step I showed you where you do this, right? Add this. If you don't add this, it won't retrieve the data. I tell you, you will face nightmares. So add this file, because this file is sensitive. I add in some interesting custom configurations. That's why it's a hidden file, right? So you can edit whatever configuration. When you push it, it doesn't override this to anyone's project, right? It's okay. You may name this in a different port, doesn't matter, but I use the default port. Sometimes I use funny ports, but whatever it is, man, you guys will see what I mean as you get to dig deeper into development, right? And then finally, we want to commit all changes. So I say git add, right? But before I do that, let me just go to my GitHub here. So in GitHub, it has said there are 7 changes. What changes were made, right? It's this stuff. So that was made, yeah, which was the backup files. I didn't really edit the code, right? I didn't even touch the code, guys. As you can see, I just ran through and edited the data schema. That was my duty. And then the rest of the team, I'll give them task on edit certain elements of the code, show you the format, and then we work from there, right? So these are the changes which are there, which is the dumped backed up file. So if I go to git add, then git commit. So git add means that prepare for staging all local changes to your repository. That's why the add function is a verb. And then that dot means all. That means whatever it has been, whatever is tracked there, add everything. And then the double ampersand simply means that it's another command which you want to start writing, which you want to put so that you run them at the same time. Then you say git, which is git itself, commit. Now you want to commit those stages after preparing them to be staged. Then -m means message. Then you write your message. I'll write the message and say backed new database backup with co-working packages, right? Then we say enter. It is staged, committed, we're good to go. Now I need to push git push. I think I've disconnected. Wait, let me try again. Git push should work. And we want to push this. I think this video is now stretched too much. DeveloperPrince -ng, and then my password. That I was gonna tell you, right? It will probably crash if the Wi-Fi is a bit slow, but if the Wi-Fi is okay, there we go. It is pushed. Right, there we go, guys. So yeah, I'll do some fancy stuff. So if you go to Git here, less than a minute ago, there's been a push, right? So Git we're so intelligent, it will ask you to do a pull request into master. So I'll do a pull request. I'll explain the stuff in detail. So don't do this. I'm the only one who's supposed to do this, right? So new database backup with co-working, able to merge. So create pull request. So I'll create a pull request there, so that this is now on master. Then checking for ability to merge. And then this branch has no conflicts, right? If there's any merge conflicts, it highlights it there. Then I need to go through it to see what you changed. If I like what you change, I'll accept incoming. If I don't like what you change, I will probably not merge, communicate back to you, we work around things, and then we merge into master, right? So merge, confirm commit, merge, there we go. It's running in the background. Nadi, right? It's good. So I think things have been happening in the background as well on my, not sure why it's not showing notifications, but it's supposed to show notifications on my GitHub on Trello here. But anyway, let's just check. It's not showing any notifications, but anyway, it's an edit feature. Don't worry about this. So the pull request merged, and then if you go back to code, right, it'll show you that there's 44 commits done, because I did the first commit, and then the merging commit is another commit. So it's like double commits, but we only do this when I want to merge. We don't merge all the time. So for now, work on the development branch and make sure your edits are in the dev branch. I cannot emphasize this more than enough. Make sure your edits are in the dev branch, and you push in the dev branch. Then I'll see your changes. It will notify me automatically. Then that's it. So I will go back to this Trello, and after I do that, I will then need to add in this to my server, which I won't go through now. I will do this in the background. So I hope this video has been a detailed guide on how to get started to be part of the community, start doing work as a developer. There's so many things to be done, but I think this task should be done, right? And we can even add a GitHub power up, right? Attach commit. Let me just actually add that. So link to GitHub account. No, let me not do that. Let me actually request village services to do that, so that whenever there's a commit, it actually appears here. That's so cool. So it's really cool. So this is how you do modern development. This is called Scrum way of doing it. where it's based on sprint cycles, but this is not going to be a sprint cycle, it's going to be an open sprint cycle because I won't be fully available. But by right, we're supposed to be saying for all these changes, we need to do them in the next 2 weeks, and you're supposed to be in MVV because I'm not an MVP, but because I'm not always there, there'll be challenges here and there. So guys, I think this is just about it on this video. So I just hope you had a fruitful experience.